It's Monday. Boo. Morning guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. This is Philosophy. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a June 2021 financial update. I'm going to talk about my net worth, some of the changes that have been happening in my life that relate to my financial situation, and just some random things too. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get into it. So June 2021 was kind of a big month for me. If you watched my last video or my last few videos, you may have heard me mention that I am in the process of applying for school. And I am applying for pilot school to become a helicopter pilot. So earlier this month, I received a letter from Alberta Student Loans and Canada Student Loans saying that I have been approved. Approved for student loans, woo! It's kind of exciting, kind of not, because it's about $60,000. It's a $60,000 loan. But actually, becoming a pilot has been a lifelong dream. Recently, I took a intro flight with a helicopter school out in Springbank, Alberta, which is about 30 minutes away from Calgary. Later in the video, I'm going to chat about a book that I read within the last few months that really inspired me to make a lot of really big changes in my life, including going after a lifelong dream of mine to become a pilot. Another update for you guys for June 2021, my mom moved into the second property that I purchased. She moved in early in June and she's been really enjoying her own space. She is paying me a little bit of rent. It doesn't quite cover my costs, so I'm still out of pocket about $400 a month. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen my previous videos, my mom has been out of work, full-time work anyway, for the past year and a half, and she's currently on unemployment insurance and has been for that entire time. She has a very complicated relationship with money, and I decided to buy a second property as an investment property, but also to help her out, give her somewhere to stay where she has her own space and can kind of rebuild her life. So let's get into the net worth update. This is probably what most of you guys look forward to hearing about in these updates when I do them every month. So my current net worth in June 2021 is $134,000. I'm going to break down the biggest changes and differences between May 2021 and June 2021 and what that increase came from, and also where I'm holding all of my investments and what they are currently invested in. So my long-term retirement investments total about $48,500, and that is split between an RRSP, which is invested in a few different TD E-series funds. If you are interested in learning about exactly what funds I'm invested in inside my RRSP, I highly recommend checking out my video that goes over what I'm invested in. I'll link it down below so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen that. And also a DCPP, which is a defined contribution pension plan through my work. That makes up about $6,000 of my long-term retirement savings. My TFSA currently holds about $4,100. So right now I'm just in the process of building my TFSA back up. The savings that I have in there right now, I have a little bit in cash, about $400 in cash. And then I have about $4,000 invested in one stock called CMC, which is Cielo Waste Solutions. They're doing really well right now. I bought in when it was about 60 cents a share, and it's trading at about $1.30 right now. So it's kind of just a gamble type of fun money. Included in my net worth is my car, which is valued at about $5,000. It is a lowball value because I count it as an asset, but I know it depreciates every year, so I kind of just flatten it out at $5,000. I know that I could get more for it, but I have no plans to sell it anytime soon. With property, my equity in both properties is about $77,000 at this point. Something that I don't include in my net worth is the actual increase in value in my properties. So I know that the first property that I bought, the place that I reside in at the moment, my primary residence, has gone up in value by about $50,000 over the last 6 months. I don't include that in my net worth just because I have no plans to sell, and I know I can't really tap into any of that. So the increase in my net worth between May 2021 and June 2021 comes from a slight increase in the market and a few upticks in certain stocks. The money that I put towards the principal on both mortgages. I do include that in my overall net worth. Something I mentioned earlier in the video was a book that I read recently that really changed my outlook on money and how I want to use it now to improve my life and the lives of others. And that book is called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. There is a lot of controversy around this book because I think the author comes from a long line of money and is kind of giving advice from that position. However, after reading that book and in the position that I was at the time, I had a net worth of over $100,000 and I really wanted to change the way that I was going through life, maybe change my career, look at other options. Reading that book really pushed me to make some big changes in my life. There is a section in that book that talks about parents waiting until they die essentially to give their kids an inheritance. And instead of waiting until you die as a parent to give your kids this money, what he kind of suggests is giving your kids money throughout their lives to help them with a down payment, help them with school, help them with living expenses if they're doing something different or pursuing a passion. And to me, this is not really applicable because my mom is obviously not making any money or not working. My father isn't super in the picture, so I'm never going to get any kind of inheritance. I'm never going to get financial aid from either of my parents or really anybody in my family. So I've taken it upon myself to help out my mom specifically because she has been struggling over the last few years. And after reading that section of the book, it really inspired me to start trying to take care of her now instead of waiting until later in life when her mobility is degraded and maybe she's not able to move or do different things or really start over again. Another thing this book really inspired me to do was to start trying to find a job that I actually really enjoy. So that is it. That is the update for June 2021, going from $130,000 in net worth in May 2021 to $134,000 in net worth in June 2021. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.